Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to talk about diet. It's an unpopular topic. I talk about diet with almost all the clients that I have when we do life coaching or mindset coaching. It's hard for me. I'll admit it. I'm not perfect. It's hard for me. I talk with bodybuilders at the gym, and it's hard for them. I have a friend of mine at the gym, really good dude, it's an Italian guy. He works at UCF as he's a professor, teacher there at University of Central Florida. And he's like the health instructor. And so he teaches a class about health and wellness. And even him, and he's in phenomenal shape, and even him, he's still driving by McDonald's every once in a while, just like, should I stop? Should I stop? Those fries smell good. It's hard. You have to have discipline. This is where the true warriors come out. I have a lot of respect for people that can follow a healthy diet religiously without slipping, without cheating. A lot of fitness people and athletes and bodybuilders and people that are on that level of physical fitness will give themselves cheat days. And The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has a funny video that I've seen, maybe he has more than one, but one of the ones I've seen was about his cheat day. He generally eats pretty lean foods and counts his macronutrients. But then he gives himself a cheat day, and a lot of people give themselves cheat days because they feel like that it's just a gift. It's too hard to stay disciplined all the time. Every once in a while you meet somebody who doesn't believe in cheat days. Those are hardcore, intense motherfuckers. But The Rock's cheat day, he has like on his kitchen counter a stack of like 6 or 7 large pizzas, and this guy's alone. It's not for the family. He didn't buy those for the neighbors. He's not having a party. That's for him. He's gonna eat 6 or 7 pizzas today. That's just one meal. I can indulge in cheat meals, and I used to give myself that gift because it felt so hard to stay on top of my diet, and I've been really struggling to stay on top of it. But the more and more that I've been getting into this new outlook about food, I don't need the cheat days as much. The cheat days, it feels like cheating. And when you cheat, you feel dirty. You feel like you've done something wrong because you know you did. Cheating is wrong. And it's funny because I've had it happen to me a couple times now where I've driven up to a fast food joint wanting to celebrate my cheat day, and I'll feel intensely guilty and think, this is a waste of money. There's very little nutrition in this food. How much protein is actually in this? I could go eat half a chicken and get 81 grams of protein from the barbecue place, and they make nice lean chicken. Or I could spend the same money and eat this. It has 6 grams of protein, full of fat. It's gonna fucking spike my cholesterol, my blood sugar. I start thinking about this and I'll be like, I'll go to the other place. These cheat meals aren't as fulfilling, and every once in a while I'll go through with it, and I'll have a few bites, and it just won't be as good as my fantasy. That's positive growth right there. That means I'm finally getting on top of this, finally learning true discipline. With diet, man, it's important. A bad diet will cause a bad mindset. You could be going through both either depression or anxiety. And you may have legit problems that need to be addressed. But you also may have a terrible diet, which is adding to those problems. It's like, this is why it's so important to have a good diet when you work out, because to have positive growth in the gym, to really notice the results, if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to gain muscle, whatever your goal is, to get results. When you look in the mirror and you're like, hell yeah, this is working. The diet is what gives you that. You want to look down and see some big arms? You better get on top of your protein. You got to work out too, but the diet is so much more important than the arm curls are. You have to do both, but you don't say either or. But when you're prioritizing, The diet is the priority because it's easy to do the arm curls. You'll find people that they get very little exercise, they change their diet and they lean out, they just become more of a natural looking animal. You ever notice how animals are in shape for the most part? Your pet might not be, but wild animals, you go out to the wild, it's a whole different story. Fuck the zoo, man. The zoo's depressing. You look at those nature shows, you don't see a lot of fat and out of shape wolves or lions. They're all in shape. And it's not because they're just so desperate to survive and it's so hard out there. That's what we like to think. It's because these motherfuckers are eating good diets. They're not eating junk food. They're not binge eating because they're depressed. They didn't turn vice into a food and say, well, I deserve this meal. And they have these weird excuses where they're just like, well, it's how I grew up, right? This is how we are. A buddy of mine who is trying to lose weight and has a terrible diet, so he's not really trying that hard, but he wants to lose weight. And his excuse for being fat is because he's Puerto Rican. What kind of shit is that? It's a terrible excuse. Stop justifying a bad diet. Admit that you have one. I did. It just takes a little bit of knowledge. You can watch a few videos on what is a proper diet. That's where I had to start. I just kind of had to start from the beginning. Like, well, what is actually a proper diet? What is that? 3 square meals a day. I guess I have that. And you kind of feel like you have a basic idea of what healthy food is. I didn't really have as good of a handle on it as I thought I did. I went to a nutritionist, and I suggest people to do that. Now, I had to pay out of pocket. Health insurance didn't cover it. And it was like $100. I did one consultation. We sat there for an hour. She asked me what my goals were. I told her that I'm trying to become more physically fit. I'm 50 years old. And we had a little consultation. And then she dumped a wealth of information on me, almost too much. I'm still combing through it. But it was so helpful. Because now I have a true understanding of what kinds of nutrients are supposed to be in every meal. Every time I eat, I'm thinking about healthy carbs. I'm thinking about avoiding bad carbs. Do you know the difference between healthy carbs and bad carbs? Most people don't. I'm limiting myself with the fried foods. No more fried foods for me. And that's a hard one. And so I have a whole list of things. I could spend the next 10 minutes talking about my diet, but I have a whole list of things that I've altered that I learned from this nutritionist. So you may not have enough information. When you educate yourself and become knowledgeable about a topic, it's hard to avoid fantasy or delusion or what it is that we want to. If you go learn history, become an expert in the Civil War, your delusions and fantasies and what you wanted to be true about the Civil War all falls apart, and you learn the truth. And sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but you can't avoid it. And once you learn the truth, you can't avoid it. So educate yourself about diet and take it seriously. Put that in the forefront of your program. Every day when you wake up, start thinking about nutrition. Start your day off nutritiously. Give yourself that gift, because you're giving yourself half a chance to get on top of a weak mindset. When you give yourself nutrition, you can strengthen your mindset. Food is a drug. Food is the best antidepressant. I have a friend right now who just went on antidepressants, and I'm not against antidepressants. I've never taken them, and I've been begged. I've had psychiatrists. I went to 4 different psychiatrists. They all begged me to take various drugs. I've never taken any. But I don't look down on people that do. It is helpful for some people. But if you're relying on a drug to keep you happy, meanwhile you're eating shit food, I mean, come on. What the hell's wrong with you? It's time to take control of our diets. It's time to be truly disciplined. It's time to stop eating like 5-year-olds. It's time to give yourself that gift of real health. To really treat your body like a temple and to honor it. And to feed it the best thing. I noticed this with my dog. I was feeding my dog. I really was concerned about the nutrients of the food, in the food of my dog. I want to give my dog the best food ever. I want it to be strong, healthy, give my dog the best fucking food there is. There's no price that's too high. I'm proud of that. My dog eats the best food there is, period. The best food in the world. Meanwhile, I'm pounding down French fries and burgers and hot dogs and eating all kinds of shit. I just start treating myself as good as I treat my dog. It's all just food for thought. Thanks for watching.